Hello and welcome to this review of Activision Collection 1 for Evercade. This is a 15-game cartridge and contains games from the early 1980s originally released for Atari's home console systems. This cartridge, to me, feels like it comes from the original Evercade launch, as it looks, feels and plays a lot like the Atari Collection cartridges. The computer hardware of the early 80s didn't allow for much graphical fidelity or variation, but creativity is indeed born from limitations, and so some of the games here are actually punching way above their weight in terms of compelling gameplay. It also feels like an early Evercade game because you get 15 games on the cartridge, which is pretty good by today's standards. In a rather middling selection of games, there are a few standouts that I'd like to focus on. First up is the first game in the alphabetical list, Beam Rider. This is a shooter that's a bit like a flattened out version of Jeff Minter's classic game Tempest. Enemies move across and down lanes, firing missiles as they go. It looks cool, moves well, and gets challenging pretty quickly. It is simplistic, of course, but fun enough for a quick blast, especially on the handheld Evercade EXP. Fishing Derby is designed for competitive play and sees you facing off against an opponent, which could be the AI, as you try to score the most points you can while fishing. The lower your line goes to hook a fish, the more points you'll get if you land it. Only there's a shark lurking in the shallows, which will take the fish off your line if you let it. It's a great premise and pretty well delivered. This would definitely be best played on an Evercade Versus with a friend. River Raid is a shoot 'em up where you have to fly a plane up a river, either picking up fuel from tankers or blowing them up for extra points. It soon gets very difficult with narrow channels and cross-screen enemy attacks. I like the way that you had to keep refueling your craft to keep playing, and as with all the games here, it moves really smoothly, which is something a lot of similar games failed to maintain in later years. Pitfall is on here, and it is of course a classic, but I'm personally not convinced by its gameplay, and I say that having not grown up playing it. There's barrel hopping, Donkey Kong style, and being able to swing from the treetops must have been amazing at the time of its release. I like the solid movement, and the character animation is smooth and comparatively detailed. I just don't enjoy playing it as much as I feel I should. Of the rest, Tennis plays pretty well, but is best played competitively. Crackpot has a fun premise where you're knocking plant pots off a building to stop bugs crawling up it, and Enduro has some surprisingly convincing environmental effects, like fog, as you try to pass hundreds of cars without crashing into them. On the one hand, I do enjoy playing games like this and imagining what Christmases would have been like some 40 plus years ago, but also, even the best score attack games here haven't held my attention for long. As a result, this is not one cartridge that I can really recommend for playing seriously, although it's pretty good in terms of video game preservation, which is important. I therefore give this game 2 out of 5 stars, which seems a little harsh, but considering the quality of the arcade games that we're also getting on Evercade at the moment, it just feels a bit simplistic compared to what you could be playing for the same price. Well, that's all for this video. I've got plenty of other Evercade reviews on my channel. Do check out the recent Neo Geo Collection reviews because there's some really great stuff on there. And check out my Sega Sundays playlist where I do a Let's Play of a classic Sega game every Sunday from 8 AM UK time, and there's well over a year's worth at this point, so lots to check out on there. Well, take care until next time, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.